we'll do it anime hype.
Josh, all the mics on. Yeah, the music's playing now. How much time we got, Josh? All right, we are on the air once again this fabulous Tuesday. Very hot, warm, uncomfortable, muggy-ass night. Here on A Piece of Metal, we have the one, the only, famous and awesome sounding, and I know they're awesome sounding because I've done a show with them, Skinwalker with us. Guys, go ahead and give an introduction to yourselves.
I am Hugo, and I play drums.
And I'm Taran, and I sing, and I'm a frontman extraordinaire.
See, I like that. The man knows who and what he is, and he does not have any problem with saying
Exactly. I'm an honest man, so I have to tell the truth.
We have to tell the truth here.
Yes.
We don't play that lying shit.
Can we do that again?
Go for it.
Rock it out, man.
I am the world's most electrifying drummer.
There we go. That's what I want to hear.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
True
Dennis
story.
is here.
I'll let you two put on some gloves and take that out aside later on.
I got sticks in the car.
Okay, I'm putting my money on the man with the sticks.
You have
in
a
the
kit?
car.
That's where it's at.
All right, we're going ahead and
Turn my mic up.
Okay,
Shit.
doing that. Let's see.
Yeah, probably me too.
We can't hear the female.
I think all of us need to be turned up.
Okay.
Yeah, I think she has the nicest voice, so
Oh,
just turn it up
thanks.
all the way.
She does.
I like
have
your
an
accent.
adorable sounding voice. Yeah. Speaking of that, where are you from? A good man.
I'm from España, Spain.
Oh, okay.
For those of you that don't know where that is, that's not south of the border. That's in, that's in Europe, actually. Now, I get some people that ask, you speak Spanish? And you're from Europe? I'm from Spain.
Duh.
Yeah.
You know, not some of
Mexico, Mexican. Spanish, Spain.
Well,
Mexican.
it's funny. I was looking online not too long ago. There is a very, very large metal audience in Spain, and I was looking. I was like, "Damn, this is." I might just pack bags and move to Spain.
Yeah, actually, in Europe, it's pretty healthy. I think all over the world, it's a little bit the not the underground, but the mainstream. The parts that reach the mainstream are a little bit better than in the U.S. Like if there's like a specialized metal shows in top 40 radio stations at night and stuff
Okay.
like that, so it's easier to catch or. It's like we grew up in the 80s, so it's easier to follow, let's say, Dokken in
Yeah.
Spain than it is in the U.S.
I got you.
You get there, if they put a new album, you can hear it on the radio, actually, on FM. And here you just have to find their website and maybe when they play by the brew when they come around or whatever, you know.
Oh, okay.
So it's and plus you have like this big like scene of festivals in the summer that are all over the place, all over Europe. So.
Hey, that hippo happens to be our station owner.
Oh
Somewhat.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
I was laughing about docking at Bada Brew.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was cracking me up.
How about the scene in Mexico?
There's a lot of Mexicans.
The metal scene down there.
Actually, the music scene down in Mexico is pretty cool. I was actually down there a couple of weeks ago for work, and the way bands promote down there, they take the entire wall of a building that's been abandoned, or like hasn't been claimed. They white out the wall. They put their band logo on the wall, and they put the date of the show and where it's at and the whole deal. And they just take up this huge wall, and you
Oh,
see
that is
these
cool.
things. You see these things all over the highway, and I would love to do that here. But that's kind of an invitation for the cops to
I
know
was about to
exactly
say.
where I'm going to be and when I'm going to be there. So I don't think that would bode well here.
And
But
some of them might actually be nice, like, okay, when you get finished your show, we got some nice silver bracelets for each of
Right.
you. Good show, guys. Good
Yeah.
show. By the way, you had the right to remain silent. Oh, but
I would offer to repaint.
Yeah, actually, my first American band that I was in, it was called Tom and Project. We played somewhere in the south side, Bojicas or somewhere, and my guitar player decided to spray paint our name on the sidewalk right outside the club.
wow.
Yeah, it's not the club; they're not gonna bother. And the next day, they're calling us. Some of your friends or somebody spray painted your name on the sidewalk. We're gonna have to cover the cost of cleaning it and stuff like that. We're gonna have to call the cops and
A
stuff.
bunch of pussies.
Yeah, so my guitar player had to go and with acid and clean it up. So, yeah.
See, if I owned the club and a band spray painted their name on the sidewalk right in front of my business, I would start that off as like the tradition. You know, because that Chinese theater in San Francisco started back in the 40s
With the
when
handprints.
yeah, when they repaved a block of the cement, and a famous actor just went and put his hands there and like signed his name, and the owner thought that was so cool that, and this is a tradition that's like what 70 years
yeah.
old,
Uh-huh.
that when you get your Hollywood star, you get in your
Get
hands
your handprints done.
at Maine's Chinese Theater.
Well, it's like when you go to Reggie's too. Everybody's put their stickers all over the.
That just makes the place look cool.
I like it that way though because it's all under the stairs, it's all on the walls, it's all on the poles that go down and over by the merch. You know, it's like you can't miss. Even in the bathroom, it's like reading
I
material.
know. It's like
Reading material.
it's like, damn, how many bands have been here? And now I'm part of these bands.
I was at a
Right.
club once. There was a wall of gum.
That's disgusting.
Oh my goodness.
It's kind of hard to identify who that was, though.
It was kind of a minty smell to the place.
Well, you gotta admit, you know, it doesn't stink. I mean, but you kind of like don't want to touch the wall at
Right.
that point. you
Yeah, it's better than your usual bathroom smell, I guess.
That's true.
But it's probably grosser.
Well, as far as
Like,
like
how
looking
much
at it
is
and
that
touching
for
it, but
there?
you know, like he said, the smell is much better.
Well, I haven't been to many female bathrooms lately, but
But you
the male
have.
bathrooms in
Lately.
general, they're pretty filthy. So,
I don't know. I've been in some female bathrooms because, well, you just don't have a choice. You can't hold it any fucking longer. And women's bathrooms are pretty frightening. Yeah.
the scene or the way they look and smell.
Both.
Because I
Careful
mean,
what you say now.
these people, they don't have to aim to it. You just have to sit on it. There's no missing or splashing unless you splash your own butt cheeks.
But
You know.
it just looks like, okay, if they're comfortable with this kind of environment, like, damn, I'm probably going to want to have sex with this chick, and now I'm thinking things. That's just my own fear and paranoia.
It's like that scene in Harold and Kumar when they sneak into the girls' bathroom.
That's so gross.
You want to play battleships?
All right. Off of toiletries and all that fun stuff. You guys are in a band called Skinwalker.
Where did
Yeah.
that name come from?
You have the beautiful voice. Can you explain it?
Um,
He says he has a beautiful radio voice.
I have a face for radio. It's true.
Face? No one can see you on the radio. We can hear you.
I'm fine with that.
That's the joke.
Oh, God.
The name Skinwalker was derived from one of the former guitar players in the band. Was into all of this from my understanding of this story. He was into all of this like Native American type stuff that he dealt with and was into. So the Skinwalker is kind of like a it's
It's almost like a werewolf where they
right.
can change
It's kind of like a shape changer.
Yeah.
Well, they depending on the
Culture.
on the tribe or whatever, it could be just the shaman that wears the skin of the bear to do the
Yeah.
cure to cure the guy with the smoke or whatever the hell they do in the movies. But in a lot of them are like the shapeshifter or even like a scary kind of spirit. And actually, it's good that we have this name because I was watching the new True Blood episodes and now they have skinwalkers there.
Do they?
Yeah, so
Oh,
we should
cool.
capitalize in that. Maybe they'll become cool like vampires.
Yeah, because the vampire thing's been so overdone and
Yeah,
worn
it's-
to the ground.
Yeah, it's to the point where they're
so
they're kiddie
2009,
movies
man.
now.
No, it's not even cool to be a vampire anymore. I
Well,
wanna
ever
be a
since
shapeshifter.
Twilight came out, hell no.
Oh yeah, well, they just cheesed it all up. But I seen you guys' performance, and you guys have a pretty straight, direct, heavy hitting sound, and you got a singer that's from another country that has a very good, solid understanding of metal and how to project it, and kick-ass vocals, by the way.
Thank you.
Who are the other two individuals within your organization?
My other guitar player, that's Gus. G.
Nice.
Gussie has been dubbed lately. Now he's Gussie. He's not Gus or G anymore. Now he's just Gussie, which is
All right,
fine.
now Gussie.
We
Yeah.
love you, Gussie. We have Marcos, our other guitar player. They're the writing force as far as guitar riffs are concerned and all that. We just have our new bass player, Kurt Arf, new guy.
Cool.
And yeah, he's pumping along really well, and we're really happy with the progression and hot chick on wheels rolling by.
Yep.
Oh, she just joined your band now too?
I miss everything.
She's in, and then we have Taryn and we have me, and we're I like the way we work. We work really well together as far as bouncing ideas off of each other. When one guy comes up with something, the other guy immediately follows. And there's a couple songs on that album that actually on our newest album, The Devil's Brandy, which we literally one song on that record we literally wrote in 10 minutes. It just
Cool.
popped out.
I like it when that shit happens. It's
Yeah.
just is you feel it, it comes through, and then the lyrics just the song just kind of like writes itself in a way.
It's like giving birth to a baby.
I
Little bit.
probably will never know what that experience is like. At least not in this life.
How?
Well,
I don't think it'd be as painful.
Not as painful.
Well, sometimes it is not as painful.
Yeah, I was about
but
to
it
say,
is
man,
painful.
writing some songs, acting, ooh.
Yeah.
you know,
Sometimes it's a pain,
um,
especially with the words.
He's still trying to figure it out.
it's like shit.
I'm still
you know,
kind of baffled by that one, but
You ain't got enough. You're running out of alcohol, and it's like, damn, I only got like one more sentence. It's like, oh damn, I gotta get drunk.
How long have you guys been a band?
Well, the band has existed since 2007. We put out our first album, Homonymous Skinwalker, on 2008, and that was more of an alternative rock kind of album with a little bit of Breaking Benjamin in there, and a little bit of Rob Zombie, and a little bit of Stone Temple
Yeah.
Pilots, and so it wasn't as
Cool.
metal. It was more like 70-30 alternative versus metal. And then I quit the band for a year.
Why?
Because when I went in, I was looking for something like the Super Suckers or Motorhead or something like more
Yeah.
psychobilly kind of thing. And when you're, it's like being a keyboard player or a drummer or a singer. They're kind of hard to find. So you get a lot of things thrown at you, So you have a lot of options to choose from, but I couldn't find exactly what I wanted, and this was the most professional sounding and that I could find at the time. So, but then the game plan wasn't as I thought it would be, and I ended up leaving the band, and then Hugo got in the band, the drummer, and we got Marcos in the band, and then they asked me to come back like a year later, and it seemed like everything was coming together better, and actually now with the new lineup we turn it way heavier now. This album, other than for a couple of songs, could be described as a thrash metal album, I would say.
Oh yeah.
So it's more like, now it's like 70% heavy metal and 30% alternative. It kind of turned itself around. But what was the question anyway? Oh yeah, since 2000. So yeah, this is our second album, and in a couple of weeks, July 16th, we're gonna record a live album at Double Door. Now we'll probably put it out on how do you call them, cold cards?
Yeah.
Comp cards.
Instead of on
Yeah.
CD, we're gonna probably put it out on card, and then we're working on a management deal actually with this company out of LA that we'll announce as soon as we sign it.
Cool.
We have a Skype conference tomorrow, actually.
Very nice.
To get signed?
It's a management company.
Okay.
Well, I won't announce it yet because we haven't signed anything.
Understand.
The last time we signed something, it was a distribution deal,
Uh-oh.
and we signed it, but then they backed out of it,
Yeah.
and it was going to be a painful process to sue them or anything else, and then our music wouldn't be out for a while, so we decided just to let it be. But that time we were actually announcing it before. Well, actually it happened, but it never did. Well, whatever.
Either way,
Dark Star Records.
Yeah.
we're better. You know what? It's just one of those things where if it wasn't meant to be, then that's fine.
There you go.
So we just move on, onward and upward. We have a better deal on the table. We have a really good outlook on a lot of the things that are being offered to us. So, there's a lot of good stuff coming our way, and we're really happy with the progression of the things as they're going.
That's all you can ask for.
Now we just want to be fucking rock stars.
Hell yeah. I'm glad to hear somebody say that for once. It's like, damn, it's not a bad thing. Well, no, we don't want to be rock stars
No,
because
fuck that.
it's all about, the artistic integrity of it. And like, okay, you can't be rock stars and have artistic integrity too?
Well,
Damn.
it's kind of antagonic, but you can have artistic integrity, and once you become a rock star, not have it anymore. Is it just my mic that is doing this?
No, it's the
Pop
cops.
crackling.
I think it's everybody's right now.
Alright.
I don't know what the fuck is going on.
And our board man stepped away for
He's
a
inside the
second.
Portage
Oh well,
Theater.
we'll talk softly.
He went to
and
go get me a drink.
step back.
No,
and
he went to go feed himself, but we'll get off that topic. So,
Okay, sounds good to me.
so in 07, you guys had this sound that was like a combined of like Rob Zombie and Stone Temple Pilots. The sound now you said is more thrash. What are the influences for this CD?
Well, I would say from my end, it's always the same. It's Ian Gillan and David Coverdale and Ronnie Dio and Chris Cornell, and that's me and Sebastian Bach. But I've been thrown other types of riffs at me because I'm the one that writes the melodies and the lyrics. So I guess these guys are more dug more into their roots of like Metallica and Testament, Anthrax, Megadeth, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we didn't shoot to write alternative riffs that sounded metal. We wrote metal riffs.
Yeah, we didn't quite shoot for metal riffs either, but we actually, there was a point in the conversation where we were writing songs for the new album where we said, fuck it, let's just write fast ones.
Yeah.
Right.
Because we were, let's not play this one, it's too slow to play live, it's not that fun to play anymore.
Right.
We were kind of trashing some of the songs of the first album because they didn't belong anymore with what the band had become. And at a point it was like, so what do we have else to play other than 3 songs from the first album? And
Well,
we
let's write
really
some new
enjoyed what
ones.
we were writing, the new stuff that was heavier and faster, and we actually said that, fuck it, let's write them fast.
Yeah.
And that's how it is.
So the
right now.
majority of their record is, I'd say about 80% of their record is fast.
Cool. That's all good with me. One of the things I noticed with the whole songwriting thing is that, at least when I was doing it, okay, it's like you come up with a cool sounding riff, and then someone says, well, it sounds kind of like, a riff that was in the song of this other band. It's like, damn,
Yeah.
I like the way it came out, and I like the way it felt, and you don't use it because it sounds too much like the other band. But then after a while, I've gotten to a point where it's like, okay, if it sounds like it, fuck it, do it anyway, because we was talking about this on our previous show. What are you going to do that has not been done already?
Yeah, pretty much.
And if it's already sounding like another band. Okay, and it reminds people of that other band, but they go out and they buy your shit.
Right.
Okay, that works for me.
Look at Lady Gaga. She doesn't give a shit about her new song sounding just like "Express Yourself" by Madonna.
Oh, I was about to say everything from
You know?
that woman sounds like stuff by. Not that I go around listening to Lady Gaga, but
Lies.
Too late, man.
He had to check her out.
Lies.
all of her
You
shit
you
sounds
and you
like
and Gussie can hang out.
all of her shit sounds like early Madonna, like from the second and third record, and it's like
You know her discography?
I'm,
You
well,
don't strike me as the
okay,
guy.
I was into Madonna. There's a certain female in here that can't laugh at me because, who were you into before you got into metal?
I'm sorry, I still listen to Lady Gaga.
Okay, yeah.
Well, I was actually into Spandau Ballet and stuff. But I was 8.
You know what? I
So-
did like those cats.
Yeah.
I'm
great
not gonna lie.
great voice, that guy.
Them motherfuckers was just cool, and
Yeah.
they were voted 3 years in a row the best dressed group.
They were
You
well
know,
dressed. They were.
Shit, the suits alone cost more
Yeah,
than
man.
the album.
Yeah.
But you don't get that from metal bands. I mean, that was one of
The
the
suits?
things about.
It depends. I mean, you could have somebody like Slipknot, and they all wear masks in their jumpsuits, but a lot of
That's
the time,
true.
people just go on
As
wearing
they
whatever.
are. That was the cool thing
Or the
about
corpse
thrash
paint.
metal.
We had that discussion too. The
Yeah.
signature corpse paint.
With thrash metal, them motherfuckers just got up on stage, whatever they was wearing.
Street
and-
clothes.
Okay, and depending on if they were on tour, you probably could smell them a good
Oh, yeah.
10 to 12 feet away from the stage, but you didn't care.
No.
It's like they fucking stink, but I'm going up there to like thrash out with them for a few seconds, and then I got to get back and get
For
some
a
air.
second, yeah.
So what's the theme to this record?
That's musically or lyrically?
Either.
Well, both. I mean,
Yeah.
I know you said it was something like thrash and it's heavy and it's fast.
Yeah, I think that was the theme. Let's put it that way. That's how it came out. Not that it was all that well thought out, but
Lyrically?
we wrote something like 14, 15 songs. 3 never got recorded. 1 got recorded but never made it to the album. It was like, let's think more heavy. Like, let's be heavy metal for this one. But lyrically, it's it always, everything revolves around love, in a way or the other. The one song that we just heard, Swine, is about domestic violence, which kind of revolves around love and turned completely
Somewhat,
wrong.
yeah.
And my
So
love, my love of bacon.
And you love bacon. So there's like some songs, like there's one called G, that is like a memory of a girl. That's more simple. But then we have other songs about loved ones dying in your life, or there's some songs that sound kind of political. Like there's this one called Now That the World Is Ending, and it seems like it's more about politics and social. But I actually wrote it about like, relationships in mind.
Okay.
So I guess I'm a romantic or something. But it
That's
wasn't
we
like
don't have
the-
a lot of that in metal. We need more of that in metal.
yeah, it's not like there's like a thread, but when you dig in any record of anybody, it's either about Satan or about sex or love or chicks or whatever.
Yeah.
So
Do me, Taryn, do me now.
I guess I'm lining up a little bit with Satan, but mostly with the girls.
Well, a lot of what I write about is like emotional stuff, and
Yeah,
then
exactly.
Metallica's earlier stuff was like Dungeons and Dragons type shit, and Megadeth pretty much was the same thing. Well, not the same thing, but just in a more thrashier mode.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the vibe and energy that a band, writes, I mean, as long as it's not, to me, as long as it's not contrived or forced, as long as it's coming out naturally, I'm down with it.
Yeah, exactly.
You writing about love, R. Kelly writes about love. I can't listen to R. Kelly for 1/1000th of a second. I can listen to everything that you guys do, but the theme is still there.
Yeah, it's a bit more metal than R. Kelly in the concept of it. It's not so
Yeah.
blatantly about, hey girl, come on.
Not about pissing on little girls either.
That we have this song called "For Your Blood to Carry." It's about somebody that has sexually transmitted disease that is just passing it around because it's pissed at the world.
Wow.
So that's about love, not kind of sick love again.
Yeah, I was
but,
about to say
you know.
brutal, sick love,
Yeah.
but nonetheless, love.
It's mean love.
Very mean. That's,
Mean love.
That's some hateful shit there.
Yep.
But then in reality, you do have individuals that do that, and that's one of the things I told people that separates metal from any other form of music. Most of your metal musicians do write from either personal experiences or experiences that they know of in the media, like, you know, the news. When Slayer wrote Angel of Death, they did not write that song glorifying, you know, the Nazi Holocaust. They just took, you know, and I'm sorry, if you're writing about something that brutal, that vicious, and there's no way to really describe how horrifically ugly what happened, you know, to people in those camps. The only way that you could like sing that and describe it is through a black metal band. And that song still to this day kind of hits a chord with kids that weren't even born when that song came out, and definitely with the people who weren't even alive when it was actually happening. It's still a fucking kick-ass song, and it is more straight to the point than anything that you could possibly hear.
Yeah, Slayer kind of straight to the point.
I mean, hell, how can you not like Slayer?
I wouldn't have an answer for that. I just don't know how you cannot like Slayer.
Someone yelled Slayer at the Huey Lewis concert.
Okay.
And it was me.
Oh, there you go. I can see myself doing that. Yeah, unlike Backstreet Boys or 98 Degrees or something like that.
No
Dude,
comment.
That must have been like the 10th very, very poppy reference that we've thrown in like 20 minutes.
It's true.
Oh, trust me, it gets worse and brutal at this place. In about another 10 minutes, it's all going to be directed at me in some way, shape, or form or another.
Just wait. I'm coming up with something.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to give you a few more minutes.
I'm letting it brew.
All right. How we doing on time there, Commander?
Thumbs up.
Okay, I guess that's good. Art and logo for your band. Who handles that for you? You got some pretty grisly looking shit.
Yeah, we have a company called Nanimation that helps us out with all that stuff.
Oh, okay.
Don and Doug, they really take care of us with all that stuff, and they do all of our photos. And they're some pretty imaginative guys, and they're really busy doing. I gotta get this thing off of me. Hold on a second.
Help yourself, bro. Help yourself.
Don't strangle yourself.
Right?
Okay.
It's about 5 pounds of metal.
I see
there.
that. Yeah.
So you were saying?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do a lot of really cool stuff for us. They have a lot of really cool ideas. They're going to be doing our video, whatever song we decide to make a video for.
Yeah, God knows.
That's cool.
They developed our website, and then they did our logo, and like he said, they show our pictures. They show up to most of our shows and take footage and stuff. And now it's time to kind of compile it and start to develop a video presence, because we don't quite have that. Well, it's not all that big. We did a video for the first album called Captain Nice's Alter Ego, and other than that, we have a couple of live things here and there, like everybody else does on YouTube. But we're shooting a new video supposedly for this one song called "Preacher with a Flare Gun." That it's about love again.
Hey,
The
sounds like a
love
good
of-
subject.
The love of music, actually, and killing people with a flare gun. And we're supposed to find a bowling alley, and we're gonna shoot it there with ballerinas and things like that. But
cool.
But things happen, and people take breaks, and they had to go work in Florida for a while. And then
Well, yeah.
Is
So-
there going to be a preacher with a flare gun in this video at all?
Nah, not probably.
Oh.
It's just a rhyme.
I'm sure if you ask Father Flager, I mean, he's out of a job right about now. I'm
That's
sure he'll
true.
do it.
Probably.
Maybe he'll do an exorcism if you ask him.
Well, then where are they going to get their musical inspiration
know.
from? I mean,
Anything
come
to
on now.
anything to
By
stay in the
watching
news.
it.
One of the cool things when I first heard your name, and this was some years ago, I heard the name Skinwalker. The first thing that popped in my head, I'm sure you probably had this, was I heard this from other people, it was Skywalker. And I just thought that was like a cool correlation, you know, Skinwalker, Skywalker. And I found out later on that the whole Skinwalker thing was something, you know, and then you reaffirmed it here, you know, of the Native American spirituality. But it was just a thing that popped in my head.
Yeah.
I just thought of the movie that was made called Skinwalkers.
Okay, but I mean, something. Do you have a lot of people that come up to you and like have that recognition reference of your name? Does it bother you or not? Or?
No. I mean, at first I was like, "What are you gonna do? People are gonna think what they're gonna think."
Yeah.
If I have a correlation to Star Wars, cool. I'm cool.
Actually,
Yeah.
for a while, we changed our logo, because our bass player was unhappy with the. You look at our first album, our logo is on the cover, and it has a reverted R at the end, Skinwalker with a reverted R. He didn't like that because Korn has it, and it's so cliche and this and that. So we had to change logos. And in the same time is when I rejoined the band, and Hugo wasn't all that happy with the name, so we were thinking of changing names, and we couldn't come up with something. Actually, one of the options for a whole night was Glory Hole Blitz.
Glory Hole Blitz.
Because
Glory Hopeless?
Glory Hole Blitz.
Glory Hole Blitz.
Glory hole pits. Oh,
No,
No,
Blitz.
Glory
Blitz.
Hole
Blitz.
oh, blitz.
Yeah.
Glory Hole Blitz.
Wow.
Let's run and see who can put it in first in the glory hole.
That sounds very violent.
Yeah, we had our guitar player Marcos had a phone app for making your own band name. So you just have to input a word and you just come up with two random words that would make a band name. And we did do Glory Hole, and Glory Hole Blitz came out. So it was so funny that for a whole maybe 23 hours that was gonna be our name, and then we decided that so we kind
We
of
should at least make that into a song. Somehow.
You know.
And it won't
The
be
love
about
for glory
Yeah,
holes.
there you go. It'll be a love song again.
Well, I mean, think about the title. I mean, Glory Hole Blitz. I mean, well.
Yeah, the time I think we had just come back from watching Faster Pussycat and LA Guns play at Chicago City Limits,
Okay.
and Faster Pussycat had put their new album was called The Power and the Glory Hole, so maybe that's why I suggested Glory Hole, and there you go. Glory
I
Hole
just
Blitz.
like Blitz.
Speaking of the Chicago City Limits, you guys are playing a show there actually on Friday.
This Friday
We
with
are. This Friday
a
with,
piece of metal's own Dennis I Goliath.
Dennis.
Who did that poster, by the way? Because that's
My
a
guitarist.
badass poster.
Yeah,
my
it is.
guitarist
Where
did that flyer.
did he like create it on his own?
Yeah.
Where
Yeah,
did he get
does
the picture?
Googling. But I mean, like, he added his own stuff to it. That's all, like, him
That's
on Photoshop.
Awesome.
It's very ninja,
It's
and very
awesome.
and very
It looks very Asian. Like I can picture like this Asian chick from like Kill Bill or something.
yeah,
Just
great
more
butt and
badass.
ninja.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was the main reason we put it on there. Great
Uh,
ass. No.
Actually, now that we're talking about it, because a lot of people were asking how much you pay at the door at this show, and I think I texted you today.
yeah, I
Dennis.
noticed it today.
Mike told me that Mike is the sound guy for Chicago City Limits. Told me that it's gonna be only $5 at the door at Chicago City Limits next Friday. You get Skinwalker, I Goliath, Lucien Scarlet, 671 Grains, Aurora, and you pay $5 at the door, and they give you a token for $4 at the bar. So pretty much you're paying $1 for the show. So
Oh, that's
have,
cool.
if the money was stopping you from going to Schaumburg next Friday,
Really
it shouldn't stop you anymore. So
Just bum a Finsky off somebody and you'll be fine.
I will be there. I'll make it worthwhile.
You know what? I'm thinking I might bug somebody for a ride, and I hate not having a fucking car. I think I'm gonna bum somebody for a ride and head on out there. I mean, hell, I get drinks and like this here pretty cool.
And you
group
can see
of
Dennis
bands.
and I.
yeah.
Well, I mean, Dennis knows I got his back. I mean,
What about mine?
I got yours. I mean, please.
Oh, she can handle herself.
I try to. I don't know how I'll do on the Gato.
It's like-
actually, you'll probably listeners out there may be able to listen to some of parts of that show, because if the bands bring their own CDR, you get a mix out of the board, and it's a pretty decent sound system they have there running. So maybe you can add it to your videos or whatever. Till you Dennis was just telling me that I Goliath is in the process of recording the songs with a vocalist, which by the way sound kick ass. I was telling him that in a new song they need to call it Marcus Phoenix. I was just playing
that's what it
Gears of
was. Yeah, I
War.
was trying to look for it. But yeah.
And so probably some of the bands will decide to record the show and just put it on their YouTube videos or something. So, because I think it's gonna sound okay.
You guys got a kick-ass lineup for that show.
Yeah, I
it's gonna
believe
be a lot
so,
of fun
yeah.
to see.
Yeah, I do like Lucien Scarlet's pretty cool
Oh,
too.
yeah.
And like I said, that just proves that there's a lot of talent in this fucking city, and I just want it all to get more airplay and more recognition, so that we can have a more progressive metal scene. And I don't mean progressive like Rush sounded, but just
theater.
like more bands and
Yeah.
the venues helping out the bands and people coming out and supporting. Because I noticed that with the metal scenes in other cities, in addition to the bands really getting out there and doing it and promoting, the people come out.
Yeah.
I mean, they come out in fucking boatloads. This one dude, he lived out in Texas for a little while, and he said in Austin, which is where he was staying, it didn't matter if the people even knew who the band was. They just came out. I mean, there are bands out there that make money every weekend just doing that. And Chicago has to come up, and we got the talent, we got the sound. Chicago metal has a completely different sound from any other city, and it just needs to, get circulated.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree. But for a while, well, like I said, I was in another band. It was more of a alternative rock, semi-jam band kind of thing, and so I would cross paths with metal bands and with metal crowds and stuff. But our crowd was not quite metal. But for a while, a lot of the bands, the quality was kind of lacking, and they had a lot of the basic, really fast thing like hardcore with the Cookie Monster vocals and stuff. And, it wasn't very attractive to me, at least as a listener.
Burp?
It sounded like it, but
I call it myself trying to do it, but I guess I didn't do very well.
No, I cannot do that. But now, actually, there's tons of bands that you listen to the recordings and they sound really pro. That they should be. I mean, your stuff from Michael, it just sounds so professional, and it's not even done.
Thank you.
You're making him blush.
Oh. And not only them. I mean, a bunch of bands are deciding to record and sound the way it's supposed to sound, and they're mixing that power of the hardcore, relaxing it a little bit, making it a little bit more, I would say, heavy instead of just more punk and more aggressive.
Yeah.
Just control the aggressiveness a little bit and concentrate a little bit more on how the music sounds and the melody and stuff.
That's cool.
And I'm really digging what's coming out of Chicago lately. I look at it as an outsider a little bit. Because I moved here in '98 and I come from Spain. But
when you're in a band, you look at music. It's like when you're going to movies as a person just going to the movies, you're enjoying the whole movie. When you get into film school and you're into editing, special effects, writing, and all that other shit, you look at movies more critically. You still enjoy it, but you're piecing it apart.
But it
Same thing with
sucks a
bands.
bit because you spend the $10 and you're watching all these things that you notice. And you're this is sucking ass. And the person,
Exactly.
And the person next to you, that was awesome, dude. Transformers. That was for kids, man. What are you talking about?
And you do the
You're
same thing
you're
with
a grown-ass man.
bands. It's like, okay, his vocals was a little off point on that last, and you know this because you do it yourself. We're gonna go ahead and break away for a moment. We're gonna come back. We're speaking with Skinwalker here on A Piece of Metal, and we're gonna talk some more about their music and their whole energy and vibe and love
And burritos.
Oh, damn, burritos, of course.
No hunger here.
man.
Okay, and
Right.
I'm
Unless you're
broke,
dying.
so he's talking about food. Well,
Somebody
damn.
needs to make a White Castle run.
And I know a great place with great burritos too. Now that you mention it,
Do they give them away for
No,
free?
Unfortunately, no, but it might as well be.
Okay. We'll be back here at A Piece of Metal here on Slam Internet Radio, broadcasting live from PC here, 4055 North Milwaukee, across the street from the very beautiful, not so clean Portage Theater. We'll be right back.
Before my time is over, I'm gonna find a way in. Before my time is over, I'm gonna spread the disease. Sex me, fight me, love me, lick me, bite me. I got nightmares for your blood to carry. You can call it love. You can call it hell from above. You can call it love. You can call it death from above. Come to me, look at me, talk to me. Do you still wanna call it love? Before my time is over, I'm gonna find a way in. Before my time
All right, we are back here at a piece of metal.
And louder than ever.
Louder than a motherfucker up in this bitch. Shit, I like loud, but damn. I'm already at 5% hearing loss, and I'm hearing this really fucking clear, so I know this is loud. Okay, is that better?
What?
Oh, we got a comedian in the house. Got a comedian in the house.
Polish knee slapper.
I don't get it. No. Okay, that's much better. I think. Is it? No.
Sorry, guys, I'm gonna make some noise.
All right. You're all going to be as deaf as I am by the time you get my age anyway, so just deal with it. All right, we are back here on a piece of metal. We're talking with the one, the only, never duplicated, Skinwalker.
Well, actually, there's a band out of California with the same name, I think.
Damn it.
We're gonna have to send them a cease and desist because we own the rights to the name. I think I'm positive.
And if just in that case that don't work, give me about $100. I'll go out there and make sure that they stop using the name.
Hey, do you have a cousin with an Italian last name down there?
No, I'll just fly down there and just
I don't think
Yeah,
$100
The
is
good
gonna-
old-fashioned ass beating.
They might shapeshift and take off.
We're from Chicago. We handle things more directly when it comes to stuff like that.
My drummer is so funny. Let me tell you.
Hey, it's a
I'm
gift.
waiting for you to tell me.
That's what I was thinking. You're going
It's
to
a
tell
joke. I was like, where's the rest of it? What are you going to tell me?
Dun 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 dun.
Oh yes, we're just a bunch of slap happy clowns here, and we're all sober.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Speak for yourself.
Shit, I'd like to be juiced right about now. Some nice cold ones. Anyway, here we are talking about we talked about your sound earlier, your influences, and you're going with different management company. I just wanted to ask, when we did that show out in Stager, how many more peeps came out for that? Because you guys were like the big cheese there. You were like the headliners.
No, Mushroom Head was the
Oh, that's right, Mushroom Head.
You played with Mushroom Head and you didn't even tell us?
We didn't even
did.
see them.
Yeah, this was mentioned for the third time because District 22 was in here and Beneath the Stairs
But
they were.
they didn't mention Mushroom Head.
Yeah, no, they did.
Maybe
We
I'm
mentioned them,
deaf.
but we didn't see them. And
What
I'm
the
like,
fuck?
okay, where's Mushroom Head at? Where's Mushroom Head at? And they never showed their existence. I'm like thinking,
God.
okay, I know my bathing hygiene habits are a little bad, but I didn't think they were that bad.
Did you play on the Friday or on the Saturday?
We played the Saturday.
So then they played
They
played
played
Friday.
Okay.
Saturday was Michael Graves.
Saturday.
Well, we had played the very first spot
Right.
on Saturday.
I remember.
Because we were the only band that, and felt kind of bad after finding out. We were the only band that didn't pay. But then all the other bands came up and told us, because most of them are my friends on Facebook.
Right.
It's like, it's okay, dude. No one didn't show up anyway. I'm like, damn, because right after we got off stage, me and my bass player had a little bit of discussion of words, and it was kind of heated, and we just left, and he was my ride, so I had to go with them, and found out that, when people don't show up, and if there's a lot of bands there, and we're playing in front of the bands, and the bands are at least digging us, I still like that, because there's bands now that know who I am, know my sound, know what I'm capable of doing, and now they'll pull us in for an opening spot. So that was all cool. You got the hears, you dug what you heard. Was happy with that.
Yeah, you guys rocked it that night. I remember. You did
Yeah.
Ace of Spades.
Yes, we did.
I remember that. I was like, black dude's doing Ace of Spades. That's the coolest thing ever.
No, that is some shit.
Coolest thing ever.
You know that is some shit.
I actually I showed up late after them for the show. We actually provided the back line for the whole event, the 2 days.
Okay.
So that's why our banner was up there all day, pretty much.
Yeah.
So I showed up a little later because I have a kid, a little one, and when I get there, he told me, one of the first things he told me is like, dude, you should have seen that black guy ripping off Ace of Spades. That was cool, man. Yeah.
I mean, that was like a cool. In fact, the next project I put together, we're gonna do that. I want to do that and a few other heavy hitting covers. If you throw down on anything by Motorhead, and you do it right. You the shit.
Yeah.
Hanson could throw down some Motorhead, and Okay, you guys are
Seriously?
fucking metal.
I don't think so.
Yes.
I don't think they could do. Nope.
We could throw down some Hanson.
I'd
Oh,
love to
Tony
hear-
would love that.
I'd love to
Tony
hear you
loves
cover
Hanson.
Bob.
Hey, they put out a kick-ass metal album that nobody, it seems like, other than myself, knows about.
Who? Hanson?
Yeah.
I think
Shut
he just
up.
made up that they made it.
No, I'm serious.
Because
It's
to cover
all
up the
in
fact
his
that
head.
you like Hanson.
What's it called?
Bob. No, it's like, when they all reached their like early 20s, they wanted to go and do metal. They put out one metal record that they did one video for. Nobody really remembers it because nobody didn't recognize it was those three. And then when people, just to show you how brutally cruel people can be, people found out it was Hanson and just immediately turned their heads away from it. I'm like, this shit was heavy as hell. But
I
Josh
must have
needs
missed
to
it.
find that.
8 people know about it, and I'm one of the 8.
Actually, I bumped into one of their shows on, I don't know if it was VH1 or Palladia, or one of those TV channels that play live music here and there. And they were playing something bluesy or whatever it was. I really like the voice of the guy that looked like a girl in the video.
Yeah.
They all look
The
like
keyboard
girls.
player. No, but the keyboard player looked like a pretty one. And
Look like a
Anyway,
pretty girl.
The lead singer, I really dig his voice. He's got a really soulful
Yeah,
voice,
yeah.
kind of raspy too.
Yeah.
So I'm
Well, now that he was almost 30.
No, I was thinking
I
what I
have
was
found
what I
the
was
metal
hearing
version
for.
of
Hold on.
Bop.
That's not it.
Well,
Unless
anyway.
it's by Hanson.
I know, it's just disturbing.
But anyway, I ended up watching the whole show because they're a good live band actually.
Thank you.
They don't suck.
Yeah.
It's important not sucking actually.
I know, and there's a lot of bands out there that do suck, but those are the ones that have the biggest following. Go figure,
Well, it's something that we've mentioned in some of our last shows. We've been lucky enough that some of the clubs that we've been playing have let us book the whole night, like what's happening on Friday.
Oh, cool.
And we aim to at least find bands that don't suck, because we've had a bunch of our followers and friends and stuff that show up to see us play.
Well, I'm pretty sure that Goliath is not going to let
Yeah,
anybody
how did you
down.
find us, by the way?
I just do my research, man. I have my people.
He has
So
his
mainly me,
peeps.
but-
All right.
He has his peeps. He's got his crew out on this motherfucker.
Yeah, well, I don't know how I found you actually. I found you through I was online. Nobody recommended me.
think it was a porn
to
site.
You guys.
I would
Actually,
not be surprised.
I Goliath sounds like you could call, if you were a porn actor, you could call yourself.
Oh well, yeah.
You guys could do you could do 2 movies. You could do I Goliath and Manaconda.
Hey? Well, actually, I have been called that. No.
Wow.
It's just a sick, pathetic
I don't know
joke.
what I think of my co-host anymore.
Well,
Which one, Manaconda?
Manaconda or
I
Goliath?
just don't want those images in my head.
Too late, they're stuck.
I don't want him either. So at least you're a
Ew.
female.
We have nothing but pleasant, respectable thoughts of you, Morgan.
What?
Utmost pleasant, respectable thoughts.
Uh-huh.
This is a Christian radio station here, so don't none of you people
Fuck
calling here
that
with no
shit.
sick, nasty,
I
disgusting
disagree
shit.
with that.
Oh, God.
Well, it's like run and created by a Catholic. That should count for something.
No, well,
Fuck.
I think I was saying like 5 minutes ago that I was rudely interrupted by Goliath and Anaconda. And I was saying that sometimes you play a show and you play like third or fourth of the night,
Uh huh.
and after the second band, the people that paid money to see you, they just take off. They cannot stand it because the first couple of bands that play in front of you suck. So if it's within our power, we try to let the club let us book the rest of the lineup. And with some clubs that are not like huge or anything, but City Limits is pretty big, and Nightcap is okay, and Mike's is it's tiny, but there's a few clubs that allow us to do that because we've proven ourselves that we can bring a quality show at least and make them some
Penny
money.
Row
too.
Pub is good for that also because we played some shows out there that we had to, dig up some bands. And the thing about digging up bands is like, I know a lot of bands, and it's funny, with the Chicago or Illinois metal scene, there are a lot of bands that when we started playing, ceased to exist like 2-3 years afterwards. Membership changes, like attitudes, and they break up, and it's like, okay, what about this band? Oh, they broke up. Damn. It's like, okay, so we got to dig around for more bands, and you come across some bands that sound good, but then they flake out and they don't show up.
Yeah.
And now you kind of look like an ass a little bit. It's like, yeah, you guys sound good, but you're dickheads when it comes to picking bands.
Yeah.
So we're going to pick bands for you from now on. Like,
Yeah.
oh, Jesus.
Yeah, we've had that too. Yeah, but
yeah, and then you end up playing with some like folk acoustic band with a banjo and a accordion. And,
yeah, that happens a lot when you try to play like Elbow Room, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah, actually, our first show was at the Elbow Room, and they had us booked with some kind of like pop rockish band that was from New York.
I bet you was like a Wilco wannabe kind of band. There's a lot.
Kind
of them.
of. They
There's a lot
mentioned
of them.
having their song on like Gossip Girl or some shit like that. I was just like, really, we're playing with these guys?
You made
What's
it.
that place that's west on Belmont? Beat Kitchen or something?
Beat Kitchen.
Oh,
yeah.
Beat Kitchen. Yeah.
We played there before, and we opened for a band that, how would I describe them? They had that Coldplay. They were one of those bands that would have been perfect to play on any one of the TV shows on the WB. And
Nice.
like One Tree Lane. And
Seven.
shit.
yeah.
I don't know how I
And
know
we're
that.
playing, and we noticed that everybody. We played a show at Beat Kitchen where we had a full house, and it was awesome. So of course we wanted to play there again. And the guy that booked us there, booked us with this band that has this massive, huge following. And when we get there, every woman in Lincoln Park had to be there. So we're thinking,
Nice.
my bandmates were thinking, oh man, this is going to be cool. I'm looking at the dress attire and the vibe and the energy
Yeah.
of these women. I'm like thinking,
These bitches gonna run.
I don't think they're going to roll with what we're doing.
They're not gonna run because they wear heels, but they're gonna head through the door for sure.
I can run in
I'm
heels.
sure they know how to run in heels.
They sure as hell how to do it that night. And I'm like, okay, because I'm like looking, it's like, okay, they're not, they just, that energy that just didn't vibe off. Like, if I saw a bunch of girls that looked like Morgan, okay, I know, all right, we got some metal chicks in the house. All right, we're going to go ahead and tear this bitch up. All right, all these girls were like perfectly, like, beautiful type girls. Like, they wouldn't leave the house until they've, like, put, like, 4 hours into their whole
Oh.
presentation.
So like girls that wouldn't hang out with us metal dudes.
Girls that wouldn't even spit on me.
Right.
You know, I don't want your germs on your body, or my germs on your body. So we start playing, and the floor is fucking empty. Okay, so then we get off, well, disappointed, of course, and the band that gets on in back of us, the lead singer is sitting behind a Yamaha, like workstation keyboard.
Mm-hmm.
So right there, that kind of tells you what kind of band is going on. And then they start playing. It sounds like I said, one of those WB groups. And at that point, we had trouble getting our stuff out of the place because it was so fucking crowded.
Yep.
And my other guitar playing singer was like, "You all waiting for this?" And I knew it. I knew it just by the way they looked, the way they carried themselves. And I'm thinking, why would you book us? Now, you saw us play
Before.
Right.
you
They
know
still
what kind
book
of
you on that,
vibe,
yeah.
energy, and how we bring it. Why would you put us on opening for them? Well, they had a big following. Figured that you would actually do good with them. Okay. No.
Two different audiences.
Okay. Yeah. They had a huge audience, all right, but not our audience. You saw who our audience was the last time, and it was just a disaster.
Maybe he
so-
thought all those Lincoln Park chicks knew you from your porn, and they were gonna stick
Oh
around.
my god.
They're waiting for man to come.
I wish I could have made money off of that. Damn, I'm in the wrong business.
Maybe that's what you need to go into, since you're not
Porn.
employed right now.
Well, yeah, but no, I will not sell myself. I'm not a cheap piece of meat. I have respect.
$500
I'll do it.
It's $500 a scene.
Okay, maybe I can do a couple of scenes.
All right.
I'm sure God will understand.
As long as you keep Tuesday nights open, everything's cool.
Oh, dude, nothing ain't coming in between me and this show, except death and taxes, and fuck the taxes.
What if we brought you one like a stripper for the other side of this glass right here?
As long as everybody can keep their focus and
Just have her stripper dancing the entire time.
The entire time.
Nice.
What about in the wintertime?
What is that going
let
to
her do it
for
anyway.
our show?
Absolutely nothing.
Think about it.
Entertainment.
Entertainment
For
for
us.
the entertainment?
Yes.
exactly.
Well, we got to get something for her too. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh,
unless you
I'm
just-
okay. It's okay.
She's good.
The way she said that.
I'm okay.
She's sitting next to me, so she's okay. You know.
Do
My pheromones are flowing.
Spanish pheromones.
Hey, so were you cats always a 5-piece, or was it
For a while, a long time ago, when we were called Kamikaze Butterfly, we were actually a 4-piece with only one guitar player.
Oh man.
And that was cool. But I always liked the thickness of having 2 guitar players. I like the thickness.
What the hell are you laughing at over there,
Wow.
missus?
It's all about the girth.
Everything just went so bad when we started talking about Maniconda that now my head's stuck in the gutter.
Of course.
Wow.
Sorry.
Well, it is a metal show, so it's okay and appropriate for this situation.
It's
that
funny
was
because we
actually-
got all serious too.
Right, I was
And now
actually thinking about physical integrity. You had to ruin it with a dick joke.
that she
I thought that's
created.
what you would intended when you had said it.
Oh man!
But
For those of
continue
you,
on with the thickness of 2 guitars.
I have not even a clue right now.
for those of you
2 guitar
listening to a
players,
piece
great,
of metal,
5-piece.
as you see, we do get a little light here, and we have fun at my expense.
I just think the heat's getting to me right now. I'm like sitting here sweating,
Yeah,
going,
it's
"Oh
quite-
What did you
god."
ask me? Oh yeah, we're a 5-piece.
4 or 5-piece.
Awesome. Yeah, 5-piece, louder, thicker.
How's about more, like weight and more punch with the metal with 2 guitars, which I think, because I want to do a 3-piece, like symphonic gothic metal thing, but
3-piece, you mean 3-piece band or 3 guitars?
no, 3-piece band, me, a bass, and a drummer, with the bass and drummer being females. I'm either going to have to tweak my amp some kind of way or have it like just beefed up, because if you're going to do a 1 guitar thing, that amp has to come through like But then if you look down through history in metal, all of your pretty much stadium size successful bands have always had 1 guitar player. There have been 4 member bands, but it's always 1 guitar player. Case in point, the first one that started everything we know as heavy metal, Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
1 guitar player.
Yeah, Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple,
Pantera.
One guitar player.
Van Halen. Yeah.
AC/DC.
Well, they had 2 guitar players.
Did they?
But
There's another guy.
I thought it was
Really?
just one.
Good one.
There's another dude.
I mean, look at all the thrash bands. They pretty much had
Exactly.
4 members.
And then when the metal started getting a little heavier, like in the thrash and the speed, then the twin guitar attack, which hails from the days of Judas Priest and Iron Maiden.
Sure.
And a lot of your punk bands have only 1 guitar player, because a lot of punk music doesn't have guitar
It's
solos
very
in
simple.
it. Yeah, with the exception of maybe the Sex Pistols. The Sex Pistols did get a little bit. They were like that first punk band that got a little bit more elaborate, and then the Clash got more elaborate with the rhythms and the additioning of the different sounds and beats and all. But when it comes to metal, pretty much for 40 years it's been 1 guitar, 1 bass, 1 drummer, and 1 separate singer, and that's been the formula. And it's odd enough, it hasn't like clashed or overlapped so much. Well, at least until the past 10 years, where everybody's trying to sound like Black Sabbath and Deep Purple.
Well, our thing was a bit of the first album has actually 2 guitar players in it.
Okay.
But then we played 1 show, and then the one that was doing most of the leads quit the band.
Well, now.
So it was just Gus, and Gus is a really solid rhythm guitarist. He can drive the band by
Yeah.
himself. He's really good, but he is not a guitar hero. He's not
There you
the
go.
one that's gonna flash you with the scales and the
sweeps
hammering
and-
and all
He'll
that
move his
shit.
fingers really fast though, and it looks cool.
Well, that's the thing.
Because chicks dig that.
Yes, they do, and I found that out myself. But an interesting point you just made, and I'll say this out there for every guitar player. Hopefully, there's some young guitar players up, starting to get their chops ready for professionalism. If you got a lead guitar player, it's good to learn solos, and it's good to know solos and leads and all that other fantastic dynamic shit. But bare bones, what it comes down to it is your rhythm. Tony Iommi came up with some kick-ass rhythm, but more important, Tony Iommi came up with some awesome rhythms.
Yeah.
James Hetfield can play leads, believe it or not, but he chooses not to because he prefers the backbone and the meat of rhythm. I don't care how good a lead guitarist you are. You can't hold some solid rhythm. I'll just flat out say it. You ain't shit.
I mean, the music should be about rhythm and melody, pretty much.
Yes.
And now we're talking, and sometimes lyrics too, depending on what kind of music you're talking about.
That's the solid basis.
Even if you talk about dance music, it's just rhythm and melody, rhythm and melody.
Well,
But
with dance
when we're talking
music-
about heavy metal, you add the riff.
Yes.
You have good riff and you have a good rhythm in that song, a good melody. You don't need anything else. Now the rest is flash. You want to add
Exactly.
like this instrumental break. You want to add this kick-ass solo. That all adds to what metal is.
Yes.
But it's not absolutely necessary. But you need to know your limitations too. Maybe that's we were talking in the break or now. I don't know what we were talking about. No, just now about why bands break up. That guitar player thing is one of the issues that a lot of bands have, because the one guy wants to be the guy that's gonna show off his skills on the guitar, and the other one has some skills too, and he wants to show off. And why are you doing all the solos? You do 4 solos, I only do 1, and they end up arguing.
Exactly.
And well, I'm gonna start my own project, and the band breaks up, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And in our band, we kind of know what we're strong at, and we build from that. And we kind of know where we shouldn't get too far into, and when we get there, we try to tighten it up, because we know that's our weakness, and you need to be aware of that. And a lot of people, most of us in our band are in our 30s, so
Okay.
we've been around.
Adults.
Yeah, we're adults. And but a lot of bands start when you're 15, 16, 20, and you are not. You think you know everything about everything and
Of
about music,
course.
of course too, but you don't. You don't even know yourself as a musician. You're not done yet. I'm not. I'm
Yeah.
37. I'm not done learning about how
Hell
I can
no.
improve as a singer and everything. So you tend to have those type of issues with each other, because you think you know better, and you don't know your limits, and you don't know how good you are, and how and where you start to become not good. Which some players don't know when they start.
No, they have to
screwing up.
grow into
Yeah.
it. Like what you were saying about, bands that are younger. Okay, and of course the best example I use is Metallica. That first record came out, they were like 18 and 19 years. They were babies. They were well polished babies.
They didn't even have beards.
Yeah, but they knew what they wanted to do, and they went out and they did it. Now, granted, there was a lot of growing process with that. That over the past damn near 30 years they grew into. But even with their situation, we talked about this on a previous show. Dave Mustaine and James Hetfield have such major, strong personalities.
And egos.
Oh, and egos. Let's just go ahead and throw it out
Yeah.
there. Neither one was going to back down from the other one. So, yeah, they had to separate.
And then you have Lars in there. Can you do your imitation? Can you do your imitation of Lars?
My imitation of Lars.
Come on.
Oh,
Just $1 million.
yes.
How do you do it?
We're gonna give you $1 million to join our band. Just so you know that we're serious, give you $1 million. Here's $1 million. Join our band.
Yeah, that's his Lars.
That's my
I'd have fucking took that $1 million.
Thank you.
Well, you have those two egos, and then Lars, I'm sure he took one side, and then everybody got pissed, I guess.
Well, yeah, and then you had like the friction, but
Yeah, but we wouldn't have Megadeth.
exactly, and that's what I was saying.
Yep.
Had Dave had stayed in that band, neither one of those bands would have existed.
True.
Probably.
Both of them would have been gone. With a lot of bands, unfortunately, they don't get that far, and a lot of the bands in Chicago, unfortunately, you're gonna have music and personality difference, and a band is, for all good intents purposes, it's a marriage. It is a relationship just the same as any other relationship. You're gonna have your ups, you're gonna have your downs, you're gonna have your moments where you're gonna say things to that other member in that band that you probably shouldn't have said, and you can't take it back, and it's always gonna be there. And that was a couple of situations that happened with us. You just have to learn how to, as they say, and it may sound like a corny cliche, but keep your eye on the prize. And a lot of bands here in Chicago can't do that. Once that fucked up thing is said,
Yeah.
okay, there ain't no going back, which understandably, I can vibe with that. But then with other bands, and it's amazing how they'll hate each other's mothers, but they will stay together until they achieve that first level of success. Then everybody shouts out "fuck you" to each other, but it's okay. You got some recognition in the industry now. You got people that do have money and do have labels, and promotional, background and shit, knowing who you are. Yeah, I want to put together another band. I'm leaving them, blah, blah, blah. Okay. They know what kind of a draw and what kind of energy you bring to the table. You're not, anyone foreign. So they'll go ahead and kind of back you up with your new project.
Yeah, it's hard, especially because bands and musicians are kind of creatures of the night, and the night brings a lot of chemicals with it. And,
Yes.
And a lot of those things that are said during arguments are under the influence of some of those chemicals. And
Yes.
then everybody's more stubborn than usual, and everybody's more stupid than usual, and arguments happen. And shit
I don't
like
know
that
what you're
happens.
talking about. I've never said anything out of line under the influence of any sort of chemical or alcohol. Period. The end. That is my statement, and I'm sticking to it. Thank you.
Okay.
This is his message, and he approves of it.
Thank you for your support.
Well, no, that's with any band. I mean, the bands that can actually fight through it, and when you talk about bands like, okay, Metallica, it's like, okay, if you could just only imagine the things that was said between them over the past 30 years, and
Well, we've seen a lot of it. It was
Yeah,
called
some kind of
Monster.
Okay, and Kirk, I'll never forget that statement that Kirk made in one of his interviews. He said when he first got in Metallica, which of course was when they were out in New York recording the record at Tony Z's house, Lars said something to James. He made it very clear that Lars started the fight. Lars said something to James to piss him off. James said something back, one word in exchange, another, and Lars goes flying from behind a drum kit, and of course Kirk's there to separate them. And had he had known then that this was going to be one of his job descriptions for the
Yeah.
next 30 years, he probably would have packed his shit and walked out then. Hey, I'm here to play lead guitar. I'm not here to keep you two from killing each other.
Yeah.
But that wasn't in the job description, and too late.
I know that we've asked a lot of the bands that have come in here about places that they played. What have been your favorite places to play? What have been your least favorite places to play?
And you can be honest. It's all open forum here. Put it out there.
You start, Hugo.
As far as the city is concerned, I mean, we love playing Nightcap. Those guys treat us really well.
Cool.
We always have a good time there. Dave Carlson always treats us really good.
Nightcap.
We love the Double Door. We like that place a lot. We did our CD release party there for the Devil's Brandy, and we had a really, really good showing there on a Wednesday night. And they liked us and they had us back, and then we're going to be there again.
July 16th, recording our new
July
live
16th,
album.
recording our live album. Did we decide on a name for that?
Skinned Alive,
Are we gonna call
probably.
it Skinned Alive?
It's kind of
Oh,
fun.
that is cool.
And then when we do our acoustic show, I want to call it Unskinned or In the Raw, but we'll see. Double Door's good to us. Nightcap, again, like I said, is good to us. Chicago City Limits is really good to us. We've played there a couple
Where is
times
that at?
already. Chicago City Limits is in Schaumburg
Okay.
on Wise Road. We're going to be there this weekend with these
I
boys
go
here.
lying.
That's going to be a good
Dennis,
time.
you're representing
yeah.
a piece of
Gotcha.
metal. So
Yeah, and you
make
just-
us proud. Make
You
us
just-
proud.
You just talk so fucking much, dude.
Yeah.
I know.
We're gonna play
That's
you
because he's behind the kit.
we're gonna play a song from Losing Scarlet later when we break, which are gonna play with us too Friday night. But as far as me,
They're an awesome group also. I want to throw that out there.
as far as me, I really like Nightcap. The first time I played there, Dave wasn't the owner, and they still had that radiator in the middle of the stage there, and it was really iffy. Like a lot of Eastern European guys in the front bar, and they were like, "Who the fuck is gonna come in here to play?" You know, like this is our bar, kind of thing. But then since he took over, the first time actually I went there since he took over was to see Doro play, because he had a show at the Pearl Room that got displaced because they closed the Pearl Room. So they FM Entertainment booked it at Nightcap, and I went there, and I really liked it. It looked like the new metal underground kind of thing, with the red lights and the darkness and the metal band playing, and it was pretty cool.
I like
And-
that too.
Yeah, we played there like 3 or 4 times, and we've always been treated well there. But to me, it was the first time I stepped on at the Double Door stage. And it was
I like
was
the
a-
double door stage. That's a cool stage.
Yeah, I've done it a couple times only, but the first time you're there on stage is like I'm standing on the feet of giants. How do you say? Shoulders. I mean, the Rolling Stones have stepped there, and I'm stepping on the same piece of wood
Yeah.
that Mick Jagger did. You know, so it kind of gives you some sense of achievement and responsibility at the same time. It makes you feel like
God.
you're rocking. You know, you're there to rock. That's what I'm here for. And so I really like the double door. As far as shitty venues, there's not such a thing as a shitty venue, but more of a shitty booking person or shitty
Okay, yeah, I'll
people
go
that
with
work
that.
the venue.
Yeah.
Like we
Yeah.
recently played Mike's in Summit, and it's a shitty place, but it's fun to play there because they treat you nice, and the owner Mike, he's pretty cool. The place is minimal, but they're building like a new metal underground Southside kind of thing.
And they do all ages gigs too, every last Sunday of the month,
Uh-huh.
which is really important for this particular area of music that we're talking about, as far as the Chicago music metal scene, because the all ages, that's where it's at.
Yeah.
That's the target audience right there, because those are the kids that are going to talk the most. Those are the kids that are going to get your music to more people quicker, because they will Facebook you in an instant to let you know
One thing
that
about
this
the
band
kids-
is cool, and and they're all over. My kid does all sorts of networking and stuff like that with Facebook and with all of his little cronies, all of his little buddies, and that's the quickest way to get your music out there, is through all ages, through the young kids.
I just have to. I don't know. A couple of bands would tell me it doesn't make a big deal to like do your shit as you would do it. I have this urge to want to, kind of hold back things I would normally say on stage if it's an all ages show. And all the bands I talked with that did all ages, so I was like, no, do your shit as you would say what you would normally say. And like this one dude pointed out, okay, do you think anything that you are possibly going to say that some 16-year-old girl out there has not heard already?
Yeah.
Or seen.
Or okay, she's probably gonna go home and hear her father say much worse shit than that to her. So just do your thing, do your show, and give them kids something to brag and be happy about, and bring plenty of t-shirts.
Sometimes it's hard not to get a little preachy when you're older and you're playing in front of younger people.
Yeah.
Every now and then I will give some advice. Like when last time we played an all ages show, well, not the last time, but we played a festival at Highland Park High School. We played this event that they do over there, and we were playing For Your Blood to Carry, which we talked about before. And I just said, hey, there's people like that out there with diseases and shit. Wear a condom, kind of thing. So
Right.
I wouldn't say that to my adult audience, but
Well, I wouldn't think that's a preaching type thing. That's just
We knocked out a public service announcement. So.
Yeah.
I guess.
We know half of you are gonna go home and fuck. Could you just kind of
Right.
wrap
Maybe
it up
you
there?
guys should
Keep the
endorse
population down.
Condoms.
Why not? Gene Simmons
love-
has like a whole line
I
of
love
condoms. I lived in a condom before, and I had to
What?
sell it because.
That's a
Oh,
condo. Funny, stupid joke. Way to go.
Yuck.
I meant to ask too. Have you ever taken vocal lessons?
No.
That just came naturally.
I started singing in Spain with my friends and my brother's friends, and with acoustic guitars and beating on the couch kind of thing, and on pots. And we recorded a demo with a tape recorder just for our friends with like covers, breaking the law or whatever, just changing the lyrics for fun. And I was the only one that couldn't play an instrument, and they didn't want to do the drum in the couch thing. So I was forced to sing, and I was always too I was 13 at the time, so I was too young, and I was too poor to buy myself some lessons. Whenever I would have a dime, I would spend it on beer, pretty much. And then for my first job, I saved some money. I got a leather jacket, I got some cowboy boots, and then beer and vodka. Till I got a real job. I had my cowboy boots, I had my leather jacket, I was good. And my
If that's not
taxis.
fucking metal, what is?
It's a Spanish
I didn't have money to take lessons, but I always listen for the detail in the vocals, and I always shot to and if there was for example, hopefully we'll have time to play a song from early Deep Purple from 1970. Ian Gillan is one of my favorites, and he doesn't have the prettiest or flashiest voice, but I would hear him and I'm like, this guy's saying something. I want to learn more English so I can understand what the fuck this guy is saying, because he sounds like he's telling me something, and he this guy for me he's the best rock singer at telling you what he's singing. He tells you a story and he sings it with like he means it. And but you would listen to other bands and this guy sounds like he wants to fuck somebody, and because that's what the whole band was about, like Bullet Boys or Blue Blood or all these bands. So that was one thing. So I learned to listen for transmitting the energy of the lyric and all. And I was big on Sebastian Bach too. try to learn some tricks and some screams and something, and then try it myself at rehearsal and see if it worked or not. And if people looked at me like halfway weird, I wouldn't do it again.
Hey, what the hell are you doing, man?
And they looked at me like, hey, do that again. So I would do it again. So it was kind of a trial and error and listening a lot to other singers and stuff. So, and like kind of like taking it apart a little bit in my head as I was listening to it.
Do you like the band? Forgive me if I butcher their name. I'm sorry, but they're oddly enough one of my favorite bands, even though I can't pronounce their name correctly.
Arch Enemy.
No, that is one of my favorite bands. Also,
Kiss?
Well, no, they're from Spain. Also,
Lacuna Coil.
Lacuna
I think they're
Coil.
Italian.
They're from
actually.
Italy.
They're Italian.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
They're from Milan.
there
Milano.
a couple of people that had posted their videos up were from Spain, so that's where I
Maybe they
made the
saw them in
correlation.
Spain.
What else am I going to think? That's not my fault. I go ahead and plead not guilty on that one.
Yeah, they're Italian. They're well known in Spain, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, like you said, there's a big kids in Spain know more about overall worldwide metal than they do in the States. In the States, the kids that are more into it, they dig around and they know their metal, but mostly they're American metal.
Yeah.
When you wanna, there's a lot of shit coming out of Japan, and there's actually this one band called Dio actually. It stands for something like do it
Over and over again.
something like that. There's like a lot of Japanese bands and a lot of European bands and bands from weird places that are actually good, and people know about them. But here it's kind of hard to find because stations don't play them. You really have to dig hard. If you're an older guy like me, that okay, I know Facebook, I know MySpace, I know my way around the internet minimally. But if I was like 17, I would probably know how to research and find interesting
yeah.
shit. But I'm too old for that, and I have a job and a kid, so
Yeah, and you have
I have the minimal
responsibilities.
time. Yeah.
You make the kid do the research.
Yep.
So out in Europe, how were you getting a hold of metal? Did they play more of our stuff on the radio and a lot of your European metal
Well,
out there?
any other newsstand that you can find, they have this Spanish magazine called Heavy Rock, and then everybody has Metal Hammer and Kerrang, and any regular newsstand
Yeah.
that you will bump into first of all. And then, like I said, there's top 40 stations that at 11 p.m. they have their metal show daily at 11 to 12.
Man,
and
we
they-
need to go to Europe and do our
Okay.
show.
You know, and
Shit.
And so there's more metal in the mainstream, and also in MTV over there. It's called Los 40 Principales, and they play videos actually more than shows.
Thank God.
So,
I remember when
Like how
MTV
it
over
used to
here
be.
played metal
Yeah,
and
man.
videos.
MTV2.
it's just
Headbangers Ball.
people with half a brain fighting and yelling at each other. Pretty much that's all MTV is right now. It's Jersey Shore and Jersey Licious
Yeah.
and
Oh my
whatever the hell
God.
else.
Tony loves that shit.
Oh my, Hugo loves that shit too.
I do.
Yeah.
I'm
What
addicted.
cracked me up is Chicago at one time had, and if anybody can remember, 4 metal stations. And I don't mean
The Zone.
hard rock and you're like, maybe one metal band. No, 4 full-on heavy metal stations that all they played from sun up to sundown was metal. And then slowly each one of them got bought out by somebody else, and then the format changed, and now we're down to, well, the Loop is not a metal station,
No,
but
but we're losing the loop in
we're
Q101.
losing the Loop in Q101, and
Yeah.
that's the last of the metal connection.
Isn't the Loop staying, but Q101 not?
Yeah, that's what
No.
I thought it was.
don't
Even though
think so.
they're owned by the same
Yeah.
thing, they're only changing Q101.
Okay.
But they
I think
both
that-
got bought out.
Yeah, they both.
Well,
have
the
one.
Loop is kind of like iconic. I mean,
Yeah,
to
you cannot
change the
change-
format of that station would damn near cause a
Well,
riot.
then again, so is Q101.
Well, yeah. But the Loop has been around, what? Shit.
I don't know, man.
I don't know, but what is the
I was a
world
little
coming
kid.
to? This fucking sucks.
Yeah, you know it's not going to be the same stuff that we've been hearing. And the very first time I heard of, thinking back now, give me a few seconds here. The heaviest band that I heard of at the time was Slayer, and none of their music, it wasn't played on radio, but I heard them mention them on the radio. You don't even get that anymore now. And this was like, almost 30 years ago now.
Yeah, now for a band like let's say Slayer or even Iron Maiden, or even let's go and say something not that big. I don't know, Testament.
Yeah.
They developed when the era of the video was out there,
Yes.
and or even Iron Maiden way earlier, they developed a fan base that they can live on now.
Yes.
But even without radio play or without video, without anything. But right now, you're coming up like us.
Yeah,
We
need
don't
that
have we don't have the
assistance.
radio play, we don't have the video, and we don't have the big fan base to build on or to stay loyal to us. So it's kind of hard.
It's a
man.
little bit more difficult, but then at the same time, we have more resources
Yeah, that too.
available to us.
Mhm.
We have the internet. We have everybody has an internet capable phone now. Well, except my broke ass.
Me either.
Oh, okay, that's two of us now. But the fact that there's more available to get your sound out, where it is, okay, like what you were saying, like Motley Crue. Tommy Lee said it best. We would not be the band that we are today if it had not been for MTV.
Yeah.
MTV literally made Motley Crue like ridiculously huge, successful, and rich.
Yeah, Motley
in
Crue
one
and-
night.
and tons of bands too.
You know, and it's the same thing with Guns N' Roses.
Mhm.
Had it not been for MTV, Guns N' Roses would not be the gigantic monster that they became. Now,
Yeah, I mean, Dream Theater had a hit.
yeah,
How possible is that anymore? It's absolutely impossible.
there you go.
You know.
I mean, you can put out a video on YouTube, and depending on how that video goes, or who like logs on to it, or like you said with the kids, how they circulate, it can go viral within 24 hours, and which is the same effect as having a video on MTV. Or my band of Dark Matter has a video out, and it's now surpassed 2,500 hits, which is good. But that's not like a
Yeah.
hit video hitting viral where it has 250,000 hits a minute.
Yeah.
You know, that's some impressive shit. But then you got to look at bands like, and the two pinnacle bands that have been hugely successful with no airplay is Metallica. But even before Metallica was the Sex Pistols.
Yeah.
There were people in America wanting Sex Pistols records and whatever, and they couldn't get it. You couldn't hear them on the radio because no radio station would play them. You couldn't get their record because no distribution house would carry it, and no record store would sell it. But yet, for that little short period, just right before they all tried to kill each other,
Yeah.
they were the biggest band on the planet. And it's like, how does a band get to be that huge, that popular, with no media assistance? Then when Metallica comes around, same thing. That little tape that even I got a copy of, No Life Till Leather, but no radio airplay. The first time I heard a Metallica song was '87, and Master of Puppets had been out by that point. And it's like, damn. And the song I heard on the radio was No Remorse. So they had just started playing the songs from the first record, like, 5-6 years after the band had been in existence.
Yeah, I think it wasn't Right Lenny the first album to sell 1 million copies without any video or radio or something like that.
It broke a record.
Yeah, yeah, man. Tell you, but it was also the '80s where like hard rock was on the mainstream.
Yes.
That too. So a lot of the hair and cock rock from LA kind of helped a lot.
Yeah.
Because it's like what politicians say about weed, that it leads to coke and heroin.
Exactly.
So Motley Crue and Poison would lead you to Anthrax and to Testament and to.
I did buy Rat's first record out of the cellar, but
I
It's
have
like
that
an
on
awesome
vinyl.
record, dude.
after listening to it,
I'm
it's
21
like,
years old and I have a vinyl of Rat.
But,
What's up?
but you know,
The guitar work
it
on
was
that album
cool.
is awesome, dude.
It is. It's
Yeah.
very awesome. But what you were saying earlier about lyrics, what started getting me more into metal was the lyrical content. And after listening to Round and Round and getting
Yeah.
into the songs, and I'm reading the lyrics of the songs, and because of the kind of person I am, like, okay, this is some
Yeah.
cheesy shit in that one song, up all night, sleep all day.
Yeah.
The fuck is this? Then you start hearing songs
It's
by
a party, man.
Anthrax, Metallica, and Slayer, and it's like, this is some cool shit. I like what he's saying here.
I was having an online conversation with a friend of mine from Spain just this week, and we my ex guitar player from over there is getting married, so we're putting together like
Congratulations to him.
congratulations, Edu. Anyway, so we're playing like a 9-song show. We're playing an old original from my old band, and then we're gonna play a couple Guns N' Roses and AC/DC and whatever. And I tell him, hey, you're gonna learn the lyrics for this time around, because he normally just he's Spanish, he doesn't know English, he just slurs the lyrics. And he's like, I doubt it. And he actually says, and I told him, well, I can send you the lyrics and tell you what it means. And he's like, no, don't tell me what it means, because then I'll hate the song for the rest of my life. Because he's big into Motley Crue, Rat. But I mean, and now he's more into like bluesier kind of stuff. But I started learning English because I was very interested in the music, and then the English got me out of a lot of bands that I liked, because I was understanding the crap they were saying.
It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you retarded or something, man?
This is stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that what helped you learn English, like fluently? Was listening to metal music?
It was what attracted me to it, because actually you had to take French when you were in 6th grade in Spain.
Wow.
And now you have to take it from kindergarten. You have to take a second language, which is English now. But before it was French, because France is just north of us.
Okay.
And then when it was time for me to hit 7th grade, which was a long time ago, they gave us the option to choose to switch into English.
Oh.
And I wanted English because most of the music that I was trying to listen to was in English.
There you go.
And my father was like, dude, keep French, because you already have the books from your older brother. I'm like, nah, fuck French, man. And so it was, I guess it was a decision based on the music.
Sounds like the reason why I tried to take German in high school was to learn Rammstein.
I still like
that didn't work.
Me with German is because, German women. We'll talk about that when we come back from a break. We're going to go to a quick break here. We're going to knock out some songs by Skinwalker. And you know what? I think we can drop a song by Luz and Scarlet if anybody has it on their possession.
Yeah, I think we're going to play the Whiskey from Luz and Scarlet and a song from this other local band called Control right after the break. Right at the break.
At the break? All right. So keep listening to some music here. We're going to be right back here on A Piece of Metal. Woo!
Yeah. What was that?
With my empty bottle of whiskey, and I knew you would leave me. With my empty bottle of whiskey, who are you to judge me? With my empty bottle of whiskey, and I knew you would leave me. With my empty bottle of whiskey, who are you to my empty bottle of whiskey?
It's been 1, 2, 20 years. Nothing bad, we right back in another reflection in the mirror. I've been wanting 20 years. When the door flies open, a window breaks. It lights go out and that things break. No right to go for your own sake. I'm looking for a golden hand.
church, come down. Are you ready to stand? We'll make a stand. Are you ready back dreams that we once had? Are you save our souls by burning them? Are you ready? Are you ready the wings to learn to fly? Are you ready the guns to learn to die? Are you ready the past to touch the sky? Are you ready? It's time to wake up. Here comes your taker. I wanna see your soul in flames. I am the pipe that hangs around the playground. I wanna take you with by your game. Are you ready this time? We'll make a stand. Are you ready with dreams that we once had? We'll save our souls by burning them. Are you ready? Are you ready the wings to learn to fly? Are you ready the guns to learn to die? Are you ready the past to touch the sky? Are you ready? Are you ready this time? We'll make a stand. Are you ready with dreams that we once had? We'll save our souls by burning them. Are you ready? Are you ready the wings to learn to fly? Are you ready the guns to learn to die? Are you ready the past that touch the sky? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready?
And we're back with a piece of metal, and everybody is filing back into the room right now.
I'll be there in a second, man.
Yeah, we just all had to get drinks. It's so fucking hot in this room that everybody needed a breather because we've been suffocating in this little space.
Much like suffocating.
We all good? We good? We just played musical chairs. That was
Yes.
pretty interesting to see. Bunch of metalheads just going, saying nothing, just trying to scoot around each other.
Nice. I get to sit, I get to sit next to Manaconda.
That's a proud situation to be in there, mister.
Yes.
Brag about that to potential girlfriends. Single ones.
Are you good? Are you good, Tony?
I'm good.
We can hear you.
All right. Oh, okay. All right. We are back, as Morgan said, here at a piece of metal. And we're all now settled in. Oh,
Before it
boy.
gets too late, I want to ask, so why does Porky Pig not wear pants? That was mentioned on the
Oh
Facebook.
yeah, I created a Facebook event about the show tonight. So we were gonna discuss that.
Discuss that.
Please do.
Why does he not wear pants?
I guess pigs like to wallow in their own filth, and when they need to poo, they need to poo and just swim in it. I guess I don't know. What do you think? What do you think, Hugh?
I think he still wears a tie to keep a certain level of sophistication to him.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, the guy has to go on a job interview every now and then.
Sophisticated
Yeah.
nudity.
Sophisticated nudity.
Well, he's mostly famous for that one shot when he comes out of the circle and tries to say his line, and you only see him from the waist up. He doesn't need to wear the pants.
Like a newsman.
Yep, exactly.
Hey, newsmen wear pants. I've seen it.
Did you ever think about Mrs. Porky wears the pants in the family?
There was a Mrs. Porky.
Petunia.
Oh, that's right. I forgot all
Really?
about her.
Petunia Pig.
Petunia pig.
I forgot all about her.
I love the double alliteration: Porky pig, Petunia pig.
It's all bacon to me, man.
PP.
PP, PP, and PP.
Hey, I'm with him. It's all about the bacon, and I'm seriously fucking hungry now.
Me too.
If like someone has like a pet, like little small cute pig outside walking by, I'm sorry.
Please don't slaughter it in front
go
of me.
get that burrito.
I'm gonna slather it in some barbecue sauce and bite it
What does
alive.
slatter mean?
We went to our
Pour it all over them.
we went to our friend Sophia's family
That's
thing
slather.
yesterday, and they had the awesomest pork kebabs, dude.
Nice.
They
Yeah,
were good.
yeah, Greek people too. Wow,
Everything there was
they know
really
their
good.
kebabs.
It was pretty tasty.
Yeah, I just had shish kebabs the other night.
Just let everyone out there know, metalheads eat meat and metalheads eat pork. Now, if you're not eating meat or pork, you're not a metalhead, and guess what? You don't have the right to live as far as I'm concerned.
Well, you can eat lentils; they have a lot of iron in them.
All right,
Wow.
lentils.
That
okay.
took a whole half a second.
Okay.
I think
I was
actually,
like, what the fuck did you just say?
I think it's cattle decapitation. They're actually vegetarians.
But
That,
they're called cattle
lame.
decapitation.
All right.
That's not a way to live your name.
Not
No.
that.
Mm-mm. We
Yeah,
ain't
but-
having it.
So you decapitate them, but you don't eat them.
It's
What's the point then?
Yeah, like
it's actually a political. There's like a political thing behind their name.
What about goat whore? What does that say about them?
Oh man.
They
do they
fuck
actually eat goats?
No, I think they do more than eat goats.
They fuck them.
Oh, come on now.
Wow.
That's
wasn't trying to
another
go
one
that
that
route.
You know what?
Sure, you wanna
urban
stick it out there.
rumors.
I have this Argentinian friend of mine that told me that somebody told him, I'm gonna quote unquote somebody told him the right way to fuck a goat. You just take it to the river, put her facing the river, and when you push her, she pushes back. So that's how you fuck a goat. You take her to the river.
If I find out that anybody's even attempted to try this after hearing this on this show, I'm going to call the police on you.
I think we need one of those jackass warning labels. Now
Oh my
on our
God.
show.
Do not try this at home
Do
or
not-
in your neighborhood or field or whatever.
Do not fuck the goats.
Oh my God, there's some poor goat out there is going to get ass rammed for no reason. And it's our fault.
There's always a reason, man.
Well, yeah. You better have a reason for fucking a goat.
Yeah, man.
Is there anybody-
Go ahead.
I was gonna ask if there's anybody that you guys want to give shout outs to.
All the goat fuckers of the world.
Oh god.
We are the official band of the goat fucking apocalypse.
Of goat fuckers.
We want to give a shout
That's
out
the
to
title of your next show.
we want to give a shout out to our friends of Sinister Fate. We couldn't play their shit
Hell yes.
because we couldn't find anything on MP3 online from them.
Oh,
but
damn.
They are the official band of the zombie apocalypse. So when the zombie apocalypse comes and you hear music ringing from the sky, there's gonna be Sinister Fate.
Nice.
I'll be there.
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be fucking goats
I'll be dressed as Michael Jackson.
and eating brains. Okay.
Too soon?
Oh
All
my
right.
god.
Friends, family, you want to shout out to bandmates, children? You got some offspring.
Our
Yeah.
bandmates
He
that
does
couldn't
too.
make it.
Oh, you got offspring also?
I do. I have my son Nick, my glorious son Nick.
Rock on.
Yeah, I have my boy Ian. I named him after
Scotty.
my my favorite band, Deep Purple. Ian Gillan, Ian
Oh.
Pace.
Oh, yeah.
So there you go, Ian.
Well, I'll give a shout out to my sons, Gabriel Aaron and Brandon Jackson, or Brandon Donald Jackson.
Of course, the black guy has this long list of names.
First and last names, all different.
Hey, everything's long where I come
So all your
from.
kids gonna get together and start a band too now? Is that what's going on?
Well, my oldest son is 22, so he's probably a little bit older than your kids. The younger one, maybe.
My boy's 13.
Okay, maybe the younger one then.
He plays mean drums, man.
He does play some mean drums.
Yeah, when
He can
when his father retires or we fire him, we're gonna just hire his son
That's fine.
and start a family
Damn.
thing that they don't talk
It's
to
gonna
each
be
other
like
anymore.
a Van Halen thing.
I'm fine with that. It's Van Hugo.
Van Hugo.
Yeah, that was kind of cruel what they did to Michael Anthony. Now that you mentioned it, I was watching an interview by him. The dude found out about a Van Halen reunion tour when he saw a commercial for it on television.
Nice.
That's how he found out Van Halen was back together and going on tour. And Michael was, him and his wife were at home and they're looking at each other like, the hell is this?
Yeah.
And he said he was going to call and find out, okay, what the fuck? But he's like, you know what? They didn't call me. They didn't say anything to me. So apparently they didn't want me in the group. So fuck them.
I think I heard or read something about. Correct me if I'm wrong, or please tell me if it's right. That for a day or so they replaced his face on all the pictures in the Van Halen official website. They photoshopped Eddie's son's face on top of his pictures.
On
Which is
Michael
fucked up
Anthony's?
because Michael Anthony, Eddie's son, wasn't born when those pictures were taken.
But did it happen, or I heard something like that?
I don't know.
That's That would be fucked up if they did that.
We need to investigate. But they ended up correcting it because it's just not cool, I guess.
So we know about the one show up on Friday, but is there any other shows that you guys want to promote right now about you guys coming up?
Yeah,
Knock 'em out.
July 16th, Double Door. You can go to the Soundgarden gig and then come to see us. We play at midnight. We're gonna be recording a live album there, and then we have this Friday. We're doing Chicago City Limits, I Goliath, Losing Scarlet, 671 grains, $1 at the door. So you should come to both.
Shit can't beat that.
Both.
What
And
about?
then go out for tacos afterwards with us.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's a Skinwalker tradition to find the shittiest 24-hour taco joint and rate it.
Yeah,
We shall follow you there.
Hugo is our taco locator app.
I am.
Yep.
A live app.
Yep.
I am a live taco locating app.
Hey.
What about your guys' CDs, and do you have any other merch?
We're trying to make some more shirts.
Yeah.
But, well, you can find us on, well, our website is skinwalkermusic.com, and you can find everything Skinwalker from there. We have the Facebook and the MySpace, and we don't have a Reverb Nation, but we're working on it. And we have 2 albums out there for download. The first one's called Skinwalker, and the second one's called The Devil's Brandy. iTunes, Amazon, CD Baby.
How much are they?
When you come to a live show, we sell it to you for $5. But if you want to download it, I think it's $10 for the whole album, and then 99 cents a song or something like that.
That's
$5,
cool. Yeah.
$5 and a free sticker and a pat on the ass from a band member. You can't go wrong.
That's the way I want it.
And
That's the way I
since
like
we're
my metal.
sponsored by Warren Star Clothing, we give you a 10% discount card for Warren Star
Yeah, we have-
clothing.
You have a sponsor from a clothing company.
We do, from
We
Warren
do.
Star Clothing up in Crystal Lake, Illinois.
That is fucking cool.
Yeah, man.
That's really cool.
Because that's how we roll.
That's
So
it.
Is
cool.
any of your gear sponsored? Do you guys have any?
Yeah, we.
product endorsements.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's God, where do we start? There's BC Rich guitars.
Oh shit! You got the
there's,
BC Rich.
Randall.
These guys have Randall amps.
Duratec,
I
Seymour
have- I have
Duncan
Trick drums.
pickups.
They have Seymour Duncan.
How does one go about getting endorsements, or do they contact you?
No, what
or-
you do is you contact the company. You contact the artist relations person. It's not like it used to be though. Like back then, like in the '80s, Tommy Lee got paid a bunch of money to play DW drums.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen that much anymore unless
No.
you're like an A-list guy. Normally now the product endorsements, they're giving you a discount on something and then letting you say, okay, I'm an endorser of this company. You know, I've been in a Trick Drums endorser since 1998.
Actually, our Seymour Duncan endorsement is just we can ask them for the pickups and they send them to
They
us for
send
free.
them to us
Actually,
free,
that's
yeah.
the only one that is.
Well, that's
completely
like
free.
a pickup. I mean, a good quality high end pickup is
Yeah,
only
man.
like $300-400 anyway.
Right.
So that's something they can throw out. But
I get sticks for free from Duratec drumsticks.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
cool.
They take care of me.
Now the discount that you normally get, is that a good discount?
Oh
or
yeah.
Is that a Walmart discount?
No, it's a good discount.
5% off.
Oh, by the way, fuck Walmart. We were talking about this.
Yeah,
before.
no.
Hell yeah.
Fuck Walmart. Yeah. No, there's a couple companies that I have deals with where I pay the same price as the Guitar Center would.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I'm pretty taken care of as far as a lot of my drum equipment is concerned.
Oh, fuck
Which
that.
is cool,
Yeah,
yeah.
you can't beat that with 2 sticks. Well, we're coming to an end of another fantabulous show of A Piece of Metal here at Slam Internet Radio, broadcasting live from PC here, across the street from the, I'll call it the very nice-looking Portage Theater. Want to thank my co-hosts, Dennis and Morgan. You two can shout out your own names. And as we were speaking earlier, Dennis is drummer in I Goliath, which he'll be playing Friday with Skinwalker.
Yes.
I will be at the
Represent,
show. Come see me too.
represent, and Morgan's going to be there. And
Well, actually, we maybe should have Morgan introduce the bands or
I think
something.
so.
Do you want to MC the
You
show?
wanna MC the
Hell
show?
yeah.
Okay,
Fuck it.
we have an MC.
All right.
Hell yeah.
PC here representatives of A Piece of Metal is going to be rocking the show. All 3.
Awesome.
I definitely got to get there. In case if I don't talk about me too
I'll
bad.
come pick you up, dude.
Oh, well,
He lives like
No, he'll just start walking at 8 in the morning. It's okay. He'll make it out there in time.
and yeah, by 8 in the evening.
You know what? You come in with the band early and you pretend like you're like with the band, and I'll give you like a pair of
Hey,
drumsticks. and you
have
can
him be a
walk in.
roadie. Pick him up and then he can move your shit around. He
right.
worked at Walmart.
Yeah, you walk in. You walk
I'm
in.
you used to lifting heavy shit.
You walk in with a band and you save yourself the $1 that you're gonna have to pay at the door.
Yeah.
Hey, that works for me. So definitely catch them. Where is the gig going to be happening at, guys?
It's at Chicago City Limits.
Chicago City
in
Limits out
Schaumburg,
in
on
Illinois.
Wise Road.
Wise Road, that
Wise
is. Not
Road.
stupid road.
Not stupid
Wise
road.
Road.
Wise. Wise is
Speaking of wise.
he has more class than smart.
That's
actually.
true.
We're going to go ahead and end out with a couple more songs. You can catch us here every Tuesday night, and that's every Tuesday night from 9 to 11:30. And all of us here at A Piece of Metal want to say love, peace, and metal to everyone. Like.
Nice.
wanted the fast lane. She my dirty little superstar. Yeah, she wanted white roses, but of that all it was a heart. And the promise of a bleak